All right, that wraps up the Bias Plus reports and the Bias Plus Buster of the week. We're going to get ready to jump into commentary, and we're going to move somewhat quickly here as we go through the commentary. We will discuss topics that you can find on our Facebook page at Ben and Barry on Football on Facebook. First up, a quick what do you think? Louis Riddick is reported being considered for the GM position with the Atlanta Falcons. We normally see him on all of the different TV shows as a commentator and also on some games. What do you think about Louis Riddick going in as GM?
That's interesting. I've heard his name bantied about in the past in reference to the GM position or front office position with my team, the Giants, and also with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think he wanted the Philadelphia Eagles job nor the Giants job. So he kind of played it off, and, you know, he's doing really well on television where he is. He's obviously extremely knowledgeable. I respect his commentary and the things that he says about teams and players. He's a pro, and he knows the game. He played it, and he's worked for organizations before.
Played with the Falcons, right?
Yeah, he played with the Raiders, and I think he played with the Browns. I'm fairly sure I'm right about that. But anyway, I'm not sure that I'm pretty sure that he would be happy to have a GM job, but I think he's in a position where he can be really picky about the job that he takes. And I don't know if he has a relationship with Raheem Morris or anybody with Arthur Blank or anything. I don't remember him playing for the Falcons. I could be wrong. But if there's a relationship there, then it's possible that if they offer him that job, he may take it. I just know that although it's something that he wants to do, he's smart enough to not jump at the first job that's offered to him. He wants to go in someplace where he knows he can be successful right off the bat. And I don't blame him because he doesn't have to do it. He's got a great job right now.
Interesting. Looking up Louis Riddick here, came out of Pittsburgh. It looks as if he played with my Niners, the Falcons, the Browns, the Falcons again, the Raiders, and he played a little bit in one of the off leagues with the Sacramento Surge and the Orlando Rage. So
okay, so I was right about the Browns and the Raiders. Those I remembered.
Right. Now he had executive positions with the Eagles and the Redskins.
Yes.
As they were called the Redskins back then, the Washington football team. We don't even say Redskins. So excuse me.
Yeah, but you keep saying it.
Calling it that. I know. We don't say the R word. And we stopped saying it before everybody else did. So that's even, But in any event, Louis Riddick wanted to bring that up as a topic for discussion. Next up, wanted to just give a quick shout out, Betty. The Spring League played its championship game, and the Generals, they pretty much spanked, I forget the name of the other team off the top of my head, but they pretty much won big time, and that game was yesterday. Now, let me see. I'm going to see if I click this link, if it will carry over and you'll actually still be able to see it. No. This is something I wanted to mention. That is the championship trophy. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
It was so small. It was like...
yeah, well, they got a low budget, man.
I'm like, it was sitting on a table, and it was like a folding table, and it was like, I'm like, yeah, I've seen you guys in your flag leagues with bigger trophies,
bigger and better,
way better. I mean, it's like completely unimpressive for a trophy.
Yeah,
they were happy to get it. So what can I tell you? You know,
Yeah, sure. I mean, hey, it's good for them.
spring league football still happening. Finished up for the year. So there you go. Let's take another quick look. All right, I told you we were going to talk about this. I actually have video here. I don't. Let me see if I can share this video with you. I want to turn the sound off here because we don't really need to see it, and move it up a little bit. Okay, so here's your kickoff, Benny, and here's your Detroit Lions returning the kick. All right, he's out. He is out. Wait a minute. The kicker. The kicker got him. But it's kind of unfair because the kicker had a really good angle and the guy was right on top of him.
First of all, there's a code for kick returners. You don't let the kicker get you down, especially if he's the last guy to beat. That makes it even worse. I've seen kickers get the angle and come in and trash dudes on the sideline because they're trying to get around their blockers or they're trying to maneuver, or they just had to make a spin move and pull out of somebody's grasp. And just before they get ready to take off again, the kicker comes and he swipes his legs out or he throws his body at him. Those things are acceptable. But when there's one man to beat and it's the kicker and he gets you down, that's embarrassing and you're going to get talked about. But what this here is, this goes a little bit beyond that. Is that right?
Yes. Your kick returner was fined by the Detroit Lions for letting the kicker get him.
All right, now tell me this. Was this like some kind of like a little special teams bet? Like if you ever let the kicker get you, we're going to fine you. And you put money in the jar. And then at the end of the year, we're going to go.
A curse word or something?
Yeah, like the cuss jar or something.
I don't know. I was too busy laughing to go that deep into it. But that's how it came up on the Bleacher Report and a number of the other reports that came out. And it just—
that's a serious thing. If their front office or even their coach decided that was because they were down by 10 at that time. Okay. So it's not like he cost them the game or nothing. The guy got tackled by the kicker. Yo, kickers wear shoulder pads too. They got on helmets. You know what I mean? If you kick the ball and run the other way, you're not going to be on that team very long. There comes a time when the kickers got to do something or attempt to do something. And most of the time they look bad. So when they do something good, that's a good thing. You're going to find the dude. That has to be a joke. That has to be.
Well, like, I don't know how serious it was, but it was funny because even in the Bleacher Report, they had the laughing face with the laughing till the tears was running down beside the headline. So I think
the more I think about it, the more I think it's not funny because that's me. You can trade me now. Trade me now. It's not like I wasn't trying to beat him.
And like I said, it didn't look like the kicker. And let me ask you a question.
It came out of nowhere.
Wasn't it the Colts kicker who actually got some notoriety because he actually like smashed a runner, came over on the sideline?
I think it was Blankenship. Yes, I think it was him.
He like has his own podcast radio show now.
He's got some size on him though.
Okay.
He ain't no little guy.
Okay. Now this is with that blanket shit. This is a guy who's retired now.
Oh yeah. McAfee.
Yeah,
he's got his own podcast. That dude's he's hilarious.
Hilarious, right? Exactly.
He is hilarious. Yes, that dude's real funny. Pat McAfee.
And
yes, and he lived for making hits. Yes, he did. He stuck his nose in a lot of times. He got his bell rung a couple times. but he wanted to prove to everybody that he wasn't afraid. Yeah, absolutely.
Pat McAfee. See that I know I needed you to help me out with that. Okay.
That guy's too funny.
Well, this guy doesn't really crack jokes too much. Right now, they're seriously talking about adding that 17th regular season game. So the NFL owners met virtually, and they're looking at that 17th game. They're looking at maybe one less preseason game and all of the little manipulations that they would need to do in order to have the season extend out by another game. And I think from what they were saying, they're going to add another bye week. So it looks like a potential 19 weeks of football in 2021.
Wait. They want him to play an actual 17 games and everybody gets 2 byes.
They're talking about it's like an extra bye. They got to move some things around. But yeah, they're going to replace the preseason with a regular season game. That's what's being discussed.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't think it's all been voted in yet because again, it's got to go through the union.
Right.
But I do believe that the template was already in place for some extra games. So let's keep an eye out on this article again.
Yeah, that's something that they had talked about in the past. And I'm thinking to myself, the players union is not going to go for this. But now, because of COVID, no OTAs, no real preseason, no preseason games at all, and guys pretty much survived it. They might go for it now. They might say, you know what? We could do this. It's another game we get paid. Money is always a big issue. Okay. It's one less preseason game, which we all hate playing any doggone way. We didn't really miss them. I mean, we kind of missed them. I'm talking about players. We kind of missed them physically. You know, it took us a little longer to kind of get our rhythm going. And there were some things about some young players that we would have known if we had preseason games that it took us a little longer to learn. But other than that, few soft tissue injuries here and there. I tell you what, they might put this through.
Could be.
I don't like the 2 bye week thing though. I don't.
Not too sure about that part.
I can do without that. That's crazy. Now you're messing with fantasy now. You're going too far.
No, not that.
Yeah, you're going too far. You're going too far. Too bad.
All right. I only have one other thing, and then if you have anything, you can run with it. But we're going to wrap it up. Now, Ben, I am not the baseball guy. You are the baseball guy. But some baseball history was kind of made. The Negro Leagues are now part of the Major League Baseball, and the stats are going to be counted.
No way.
Records. Oh, I love it when I throw something new on you. Yes.
Oh man, you don't know how awesome this is. Oh my God. Wait. 3,400 players were part of these 7 leagues that existed from 1920 to 1948. That's going to take in Gibson, Satchel Paige. Oh man. Okay. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's some people out there that are not going to take too kindly to this. Not at all. Not at all.
Too kindly to this change in the records and things of that nature?
Kindly to these guys' stats being in with the Major League Baseball stats. There's going to be some very revered players from the past whose numbers aren't going to look so great anymore once some of these guys' numbers get compared to them.
Okay.
There's some heroes out there that ain't going to look so heroic when they get put up against some of these guys, which was part of the reason why they wouldn't let them play in the first doggone place.
Well, that's how, the funny thing about watching movies about that time and all, the bias, the racism, it's just a part of the movie. It's like accepted as a part of the movie. And then like you talk to people today, you know, in real life, and it's like they haven't acknowledged that that level of racism was maybe only less than 50 years ago. You know what I mean? It really wasn't that long ago. So those people are still around, or
Right.
their children, you know, are still around. That legacy is still around. We see it today in some of the reactions to the elections and things of that nature. So this, and overall, again, we say football is life, and this is about as much life as you can get there. That is a tremendous change, and we'll be looking forward to how those records are going to be impacted.
That's awesome, man. The crazy thing is, there's some stats that I know that have been speculated on, especially by old timers that were around during that time, but may not have been officially in the book, like when Deacon Jones was getting sacks before they kept sacks.
Right.
You know, there's some baseball stuff. I mean, there's stories about dudes hitting like 70 and 80 home runs in a season way before Babe Ruth hit 60, way before Barry Bonds got juiced up and hit 70 something. You know, these dudes was hitting 60 and 70 home runs off of fried chicken and beer, bro. These cats was rocking the ball.
Mm.
They wouldn't. That's why they wouldn't let them play them major league play. Those major league pitchers would play them in exhibition games and get rocked so bad. They're like, do not let these dudes know. No.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. That's what you call an authentic reaction from a baseball fan on that particular article. And again, you can find that at Ben and Barry on football. I'll simply say, remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you will be notified when we put out more football content. All right, Mr. Dickerson, any final comments? I want to say any last words because they're starting to execute people again here.
Yeah, we don't want to be a part of that. But, lest we forget, we got football tomorrow night. We have 2 games on Saturday, so put it on your calendar because I don't want you to forget and miss any games. It's very important. Also, if you're playing fantasy, this is a critical moment in fantasy. This could be your semifinals. You could be on the cusp of winning a fantasy championship. Make sure you get your lineup in tonight before you go to bed or sometime early tomorrow. Don't blow it by not getting your lineup in. On top of that, if you're in Philly, you got to deal with the snow. Good luck. I'm staying in the house myself. If you got to go out, be safe. Go Noles.